Jackson has never been that he can't beat good teams. He can, and he's done it many times throughout his career already. Let's not act like all the wins have come against soft opposition and he only fails to produce when he faces a good defense or they know how to scheme. See, they're turning him into a passer and they have to play from behind. No, my beef with Lamar Jackson has always been, or my questions about him, could he win the big one? The big one means the team you really need to beat. If you're in the AFC, you got to beat the Chiefs. He's lost all 3 times to the Chiefs. If you're the Ravens, you got to beat the Steelers, not with their backup quarterback, but with Ben Roethlisberger. He lost the one game he played against Roethlisberger. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to win in the playoffs. He's lost 2 playoff games. He's 0-6 when it matters most. He has 1 loss in his career every other game. In his career against 25 wins. 1 loss. I'm not surprised he beat a good team. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve big money, guys. But the way I would structure a Lamar Jackson contract would resemble the kind of contract that Dak Prescott apparently wanted. Big money per annum. I'd even consider overpaying him per year to keep it on a shorter deal. Why? Number one, the curse of the gifted. When you're super athletically talented, sometimes you don't have to learn the same fundamental skills as some other less talented players. That's why guys like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes are like, what? You have superhuman talent and you got the skills, right? Like, this happens in every sport. Not just football. Whoa, you have that kind of ability and you got the fundamentals down. And so that can be an issue with super talented guys like Lamar Jackson. That's one. 2, when you're like that, as you age, you don't always tend to age great. You know, sometimes that athletic ability allows you to settle into what other cats are, you know, in their prime, and you can have a longer career. But sometimes, if you don't get that other stuff straight, you can experience a real fall off when even you lose just a quarter step and it's hard to see, but you're not quite the same guy. There could be a big fall off. And also when you play out of the pocket a lot, there's a chance for injury. Although I got to say, Lamar Jackson's been remarkably, I'd say, durable considering how much he runs so far in his career.
Knock on wood.
But right, knock wood. But for all those issues, including can he develop into the kind of passer that can win Super Bowls, and can he do it against the teams he needs to most, I would structure the deal for him, guys, the way some guys seem to want those deals. Not the 10-year forever Patrick Mahomes $500 million deal, but, you want this per year? Fine, but let's limit the length of the contract. You don't want to be invested in a guy like that for 10 years when you have all those variables that you still need answers to.
Beautiful soliloquy. It sounded really, really great. Means absolutely positively nothing, Max Kellerman, because here's what it comes down to. The question was whether or not he gets his money or he deserves his money. Not how many damn years he deserves them over. You can give it to him in 3, you can give it to him in 4, you can give it to him to 10. The question is the money. Not the number of years,
Guaranteed.
The dollars, okay? And what I'm saying is when it comes to the dollars, you damn well better give him his money. When you paid Jared Goff, when you paid Carson Wentz, when you just gave Ryan Tannehill some dough, when you're paying all of these guys, you damn well better pay Lamar Jackson money. Why? Because of issues that you've pointed out in the past, Max. You know how you shrivel up your face? Hey, Molly. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
How is this imitation for Max Kellerman? All right, 25-5, Lamar Jackson is, right? 25-5. And, oh, by the way, take out the, what is it, how many losses against Kansas City? Is it
3.
2 or is it 3? I think it's 2.
3.
Yeah.
3.
It's 3 losses against Kansas City. It's 1 loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, essentially, against everybody else, the brother 25-1. Okay? This is Max Kellerman. How do y'all like this imitation? 25-1. That's what he does. That's what he does, right? So how is it that we gonna sit up there, make those facial expressions, recognizing his greatness against more than 97% of the league, but then because of the 3%, we gonna sit up there and shade him on his money? Can't do that. The fact of the matter is, Lamar Jackson, because of individuals who have gotten paid that haven't come close to his success, at least in the regular season, because once you get to the postseason, you got a chance, right? You got a chance. He gives you a chance for the second consecutive year with him as the leading with him leading the quarterback position for the Baltimore Ravens. They have the #1 rushing attack in the National Football League. Secondaries are petrified and they're compromised because they got to keep spies around this brother because of his elusivity, the ability to run the football. And as a result of that, against everyone other than the elite two teams, the Steelers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, the bottom line is Lamar Jackson has done everything that you can ask to get his money. Now, to win Super Bowls and stuff like that, different thing. But those other guys that got money didn't win any Super Bowls.
Yeah, man. This is one of those. This is one of those topics that it's kind of a shame that we have to talk about it. Hell yeah, he should get his money, and it's almost one of those things that kind of like it pisses you off because you start to think why though, right? Is it because he's exceedingly excellent against every other team, and then in the playoffs he hasn't won? But then there's going to be some dudes that get an opportunity to get their next deal, and we aren't going to haggle about their money. We aren't going to discuss whether or not they should get their money, and they don't go to playoff games, or they have never won an MVP. Tell me what quarterback that we would be thinking of that his first year becoming a starter, he takes his team to the playoffs, only has one loss, loses in the playoffs. What team? What guy would we be talking about in his second year, wins the MVP, wins the AFC North, and we would be asking the question, should he get his money? Like for anybody else, this would be a slam dunk. For anybody else, we will be talking about whether or not they should give him his money after this season. Like the Mahomes, like the Deshaun. Like that's the conversation we would be having if this was anyone but Lamar Jackson. So you got to start to question yourself, why? Like what is it style of play? Do you not like certain? And so for me, it's kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, when you say money,
hey, look what the Cowboys did.
Yeah, but hold on. When you guys say get his money, of course he needs to get money. The question is, what is that money? The Goff contract was a mistake.
You said quarterback money.
Okay, what I'm saying is the Goff contract was a mistake. I was on the record about that when it happened. The Wentz contract is a mistake. I've been talking a lot about that. It has hampered the Eagles' chances to construct a real team that could compete around the quarterback because he has not compensated for the problems on the team. Don't forget, Lamar Jackson's on his rookie deal that also helps Baltimore. So I'm not saying he shouldn't get paid, but Stephen A., when you say what difference does it make if it's per year or over, because the length of the contract determines the guaranteed money. And my point is, when you guarantee $100 million to Wentz, to Goff. By the way, I said it was a mistake for Dak because they were 8-8 with Dak.
Matt.
There's Rodgers, Wilson, and Mahomes. They deserve 10 years and all the money in the world. Everyone else is being overpaid at the quarterback position.
Okay, here you go, Max. If Carson, but you can't talk about everybody else being overpaid. If everybody else is being paid a certain way, Lamar Jackson needs to be paid according to that. If Carson Wentz walks out on the field and he has Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, he has Miles Sanders, and Zach Ertz at tight end. If that's who he has, if Lane Johnson's his starting tackle, if Jason Peters is another one, if Jason Kelsey is his center, and he walks out with that starting lineup, are you telling me that starting lineup with Carson Wentz shouldn't be good enough to win big?
Well, yeah, what I'm telling you is
because
when you pay a guy $100 million.
That's who they have on the roster. They're hurt. But that's who they have on the roster.
But you have to also play defense. Well, you have to also play defense. And the whole stuff with McNabb that's come up recently, and I was talking about it since last year, since the middle of last year. Yeah, it's you have to be able to compensate for stuff that you don't have when you get paid like a franchise quarterback. You have to. And I'm saying that Wentz looked like the kind of guy maybe who could do it. He hasn't. Goff, I think that contract in retrospect is a mistake. But even at the time they signed it, and Lamar Jackson should get paid handsomely. But in terms of the length of the contract that would result in a $100 million guaranteed deal, that's when I press pause on guys for whom there are question marks.
Okay, he was the MVP last year, but he shouldn't get paid. We have to go to break. Have to. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us. We will talk to you soon, sir, when we come back.
Thank you, Molly.
We will wrap things up. You're welcome. Go for your run. And we're going to head out to San Diego as well. Stay here.
Hi, my name is Petty Officer First Class